Greetings, everybody out there in Pip Town. How are we doing on this fine, fancy Saturday? It has been a few days since I have checked in with everybody here. I hope that the last few days have been wonderful for all of you. As noted in the description, some Q&A answers have come out since I last saw you guys. So we're going to spend the beginning of this stream going through those, what we think about them. Do they raise more questions? Do they give us the answers we seek? But before we do that, let's go ahead and say hello to those of you who have posted in chat so far. Going to the chat, I see someone named Uninstar was just spamming all over the place, so I removed Uninstar. But that also means that a lot of you got thrown off of my chat window. So if you haven't already, please post again, say hello so that I can call you out and say hello back to you. So right now I've got Tio, Foreigner, Sawa, Camlin, Mike, and somebody whose name is in Asian characters that I don't know how to read. Hello, all of you. How are you doing? Tio says someone has Gorewell in the guild. Ooh, we are going to have to use that Gorewell in the Brickspedition today. We are back on board number 1 today, which means we don't really need any help, but that's excellent that someone has and is sharing Gorewell, because it means that we can share use Gorewell in our space team and see how well she functions. Good morning from the woods. Camlin, are you seriously out camping and still tuned into my stream? That's dedication, dude, and I love it. Fernando, what's up? Board 1 was hard today, says Mike. Mike, come on, don't be a scrub. Board 1 is easy. Alrighty here. Let me go ahead and swap on over to my Discord window and let's see what Maria has to say for us. You can see that I have the actual Discord stream from the Q&A session pulled up here. We're just going to go through all of this together. We're really excited to meet you all. Thanks to everyone who participated. You're welcome, Maria. If there's anything that we really like to do, it's participate in hounding the developers with questions about the game. The team has prepared answers for you, but we want to say at the moment the ones who really know the game are you. We're working hard to learn all the features and catch up. We're not ashamed not to know something, because only with personal experience and your help and feedback will we be able to make the game better together. Now, I know that this isn't actually the answer to a question, but I think it's very, very important to point out what Maria has said here. We want to say that at the moment, the ones who really know the game are you. The developers acknowledging the fact that we, at this moment, know the game better than they do. This is very, very important because, for one, it's true, at least as far as playing the game is concerned. Obviously, none of us have seen the code for, like, the back end of the game or any of that jazz, but it's important that they recognize the fact that there is already a community that exists behind this game, as opposed to saying, hey, we're figuring it out and we'll get back to you once we're done figuring it out. They're saying, we know that you guys really have a vested interest in this, and we are hoping to catch up to your level. Will it actually mean anything in the future? We don't really know, but it's an excellent sentiment for them to be putting out right now. Heck yeah, watching on the weekends whenever I can. Camlin, you're a mensch, my man. What is this? Fernando just got Redbeard to Gear 7 and Woo 1 Pierce away. Fernando, that's awesome. Redbeard is a beast at Gear level 7. And then Mike says no raids till possibly March 2021. Yes, we have seen news along these lines. That is going to be a major, major bummer if it does take that long. The hope, however, is that they will be able to release some more content on a regular basis until raids come out. But they do mention raids in the Q&A, so we'll get to that in a second. Matt, I've number ranked our arena shard the last few days using my magical ninja team. Reggie, very nice. Yes, the magic team, Magisto's Tower. Oh my goodness, that team just trounces. It's so good. And my ice ninja team, it's not great, guys. It's simply not great. But we'll get into that when we get into the gameplay. The game is not doing well. Downloads are down, and in-game spending is down too. Mike, oof, we'll get into that in a second. And then, yes. Okay, so Maria says, we received way more questions than this post might contain. We noted a lot. Although we have not answered many of your questions, we will address them as soon as we know more details about each topic individually. Great. So they answered the questions that they have answers for. Now, number 1, is the game doing well or not so much, or is it closing? They have stated that the game is doing well. They're going to be creating new content and updating the game. They're just rebuilding. This, honestly, is the answer I would have expected from them. I mean, they're not going to say the game's not doing well. Even if it isn't, they're not going to say that. What benefit would they gain from that? I think more specifically here, that the game is probably doing fine in terms of just sort of treading water. So Mike, for example, you mentioned that downloads are down and in-game spending is down, and there's good reason for both of those things. There hasn't been a lot of new content. And if you have any familiarity with what it's like to have an app in any of the app stores, something I do actually have a little bit of experience with, the way that these things work is when you make regular updates, they push your app higher up in search algorithm results. So for example, games that are updating on a regular, like bi-weekly or monthly basis, stay fresher in the App Store's algorithms, which means that when you search for things like Legos, you are going to see games that have more users and more downloads, but also that are updating their content more regularly. That keeps it fresh at the top of the search algorithm for the App Store. So, because we have not been receiving a lot of content on a regular basis, it has pushed Lego Legacy down on the search algorithm metrics, which means that there are fewer people who even see that the game exists. But as this team gets a better handle on the game and starts to push out regular updates, it will climb again, and then you will see the download numbers climb again. Additionally, less in-game spending is probably a result of the fact that there's less to spend on. Without releasing new content on the game, people get into this place of relative complacency, so to speak, and already have all of the things that they need. Even if you had spent $1,000 on the game at the beginning, which I think very few of my viewers have actually done, you are going to, at this point, have kind of everything that you want. So you have nothing left to spend money on, if that makes sense. So if you combine that with the fact that the user base has stagnated in a sense, then it actually makes total sense that both the downloads are down and in-game spending is down. I wouldn't really worry about that at this point. I would expect that when there is a transition to a new team, especially one that was as large a transition as the one that we've just had. But we'll see what happens like toward the end of the year or so, around the holidays and the turn of 2021. So honestly, I wouldn't worry about it too much yet. Finally got Lloyd to 7-star. Foreigner, very nice. Good morning, Extreme Gamer. How are you doing, bro? Let's get to question number 2. What was the transition like? What was the purpose of changing the teams? First of all, let's introduce ourselves. They are now based in the Ukraine. They have experience working on some very big games, so that's very good to know. They are excited to have the opportunity to work with Lego's team since the Toronto team has been moved to another project. They're picking up their work and going on. The transition of a project from one team to another is a huge and complex process, that's an understatement, where you have to take into account a myriad of things. The vision of the game design, code, various guidelines, etc., etc., etc. The fun part is they have to spend some time playing the game a lot, but as far as we see it, we would really take the time to get on your level. So, they didn't really answer the question that was posed. What was the transition like, and what was the purpose of changing the teams? I guess the purpose of changing the teams is that the original Toronto team has been moved to another project, so they needed a new team to take over the Lego project. I am unfamiliar in general with Ukraine, so I don't know at all what their work ethic is like, or like what the sort of stereotype is. Not that stereotypes are a good thing, but you know what I'm getting at. I have no idea what it means to know that the team is based in the Ukraine now. Obviously, there's going to be a big time difference between the United States and Ukraine. So in terms of when announcements get made and when information comes out, that might be a very big change. But honestly, if they start ripping through some really amazing content, more power to them. Doesn't matter. What was the transition like? Complex is what it sounds like. Will there be a person we can contact in Discord? So now we have officially seen that Maria has the official game community manager title, and Emilian is the community moderator. They will take care of everything we need to connect with you and keep a constant stream of communication, players, the development team. Excellent. Maria, Emilian, they are your go-to people. Extreme, I'm sweet, bro. I'm super sweet. Beat Up Bricks, what's going on, dude? Congrats on your 6-star Lloyd. Now, number 4. What changes are you thinking of? Now we're getting into the meat of some of these more interesting questions. As for now, we're looking for a lot more quality of life improvements. Also, we know that the community wants more challenge, and we're searching ways to deliver that as well. We're going to start slowly because we know that you don't like it when the challenge is all about dodge. Someone's been watching my streams and finally listening to me. Dodge is the worst mechanic in the game. Yes! 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 I'm so excited that they have announced that they know how much we hate the dodge mechanic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. We'll definitely experiment on more fun ways to bring you that experience in upcoming events. We are also considering playing with the various game modes and event complexity, so it'll be more interesting and challenging for different groups of players. I'll be very interested to see what this means in the future. Does that mean that Brick Pace events are going to get a complete overhaul as they come out? What about the Brickspedition? Brickspedition is currently the largest single source of content in the game. Are they going to be overhauling that one? I mean, everybody is like welcoming a Brickspedition overhaul, so it's an easy spot for them to just completely change stuff up for a while and see what sticks. I am very, very excited for them to be changing a whole bunch of these things, especially if they're interested in adding more challenge by removing the dodge mechanic. Yes! We're also considering playing with various game modes and event complexity, so it'll be more interesting and challenging. This also includes rethinking the approach of minifigure teams and synergies to provide you with a greater value of different team composition. We will also think of a better way to direct new users so they will learn key game concepts faster. So this last sentence, very nice, that they are interested in helping new players learn the game faster. So Mike, to your point earlier, this means that they do have an eye toward new downloads, right? Because new downloads mean new players, and if they're focusing on getting new players more easily situated within the game, it means that they also have an eye toward acquiring those new players. So there you go, bro. A new approach to the minifigure teams and synergies. Not quite sure what this means. What could the new approach to minifigures and their synergies actually be? We're going to have 5 of them. They synergize together in some way or not. So what could the approach of minifigure teams and synergies be? What could this change be? What could it mean? I'll be very interested to see what kind of changes along these lines come out, but I have a feeling that this one is actually going to be smaller than they are hinting at, because I think that the approach of minifigure teams is probably all right at the moment. Some of them are just way too strong because, you know, some of them have too much dodge. Pastel Cupcakes Baker, welcome. Pastel Cupcakes Baker, you are new to the stream, just got the game. Welcome to FancyMatt Presents. This is an extraordinarily fun game, especially when you are just starting out. Feel free to post any questions you have. I will tell you right off the bat, as free advice, all of my advice is free. But as your first piece of free advice, you are going to want to farm your pirates. Pastel, you are going to be short on money in this game, and the pirates will afford you the greatest ability to get the most money in the game through one of the events that the pirates have to be used exclusively to complete. So, Start there, work your way up, and ask as many questions as you have along the way. And we are flying through the chat here. I am missing a lot of your comments. I apologize for that. If you have a really important question that you really want to get seen, please feel free to post it a few times until I get to it. Mike says, which one I've read it all to. I'm not happy with any of it, to be honest. No new content. They want help with everything. Fine, as long as they listen and act. Yes, Mike, you're absolutely right, of course. They are willing to listen. That's great. But yes, they have to be able to do something with the advice that they listen for sure. The game is, or rather this new team is still new. So honestly, it could take an entire month for this team to get set up. So I wouldn't expect there to be big changes before December. So we're all kind of in a holding pattern, and I know that is annoying and kind of boring, but it's a new team transition. It might take a hot second. So I wouldn't expect anything super big before December. I just found out that that Magisto's tower is OP. Yes, it's super OP. Pastel asks who is strongest. Yeah, so the Pirates, Pastel, just to be more transparent, the Pirates are an incredibly strong team. Are they the strongest team? No. But they are going to be the most useful team for you to level up first in order to then level up all of the really strong teams from there. The strongest teams right now are unavailable to you as a new player, to be completely honest with you. There are a few characters that are exclusive to certain events that are not currently running. The people who have been playing the game for a while have all gotten. But for a free-to-play player and a new player, you're going to want to start with the Pirates. Uninstar must be banned from YouTube, Tio says. I don't see Uninstar showing up. I did hide, or I did basically try to kick Uninstar from the chat channel, so if he still keeps popping up, please let me know. The one with the raids, there's no hype build-up. They did not give hints about their plan with raids. Yeah, I saw that too. Thank you, Extreme. Who is Redbeard? Pastel. Redbeard is if you complete all of your daily quests, then Redbeard, you'll get 3 tiles for Redbeard every day. Redbeard is like the pirate captain, the Buccaneer pirate captain. And yes, Mike, this QA was very, very disappointing. Extreme, in general, I agree with you. We're trying to sort of read between the lines here a little bit and see what we can kind of figure out. As somebody who works in the advertising world, I'm usually pretty good at being able to read between the lines on what people are saying about their own products and their own content in order to figure out what it is they actually mean, if that makes sense. Who is Spaceman Reed? Pastel. Spaceman Reed is the red classic Spaceman. He's one of the characters they give you right at the beginning. Mike, they could have shared a screenshot of raids to get us hyped like they did with Bricks. That was back in May. Well, Mike, remember, this is a completely different team. So they're probably not entirely sure what they're looking at right now. So they probably don't know what happened back in May because none of them were here. I didn't find it very fun in the beginning, but then I got used to it, and now it's my favorite game. There you go, beat up. Spaceman, Reed, Manic, blah, blah, blah. Alrighty, let's get back into the next questions. 5. How long do you expect updates to take? The frequency of updates is going to slow down for a period of time since the transition process is really massive and complex. This I just mentioned a second ago. We have a lot to learn from you too, so if you have ideas, suggestions, complaints, issues, we're here and are listening. We need you to keep an eye on our official pages and channels. When we have news about upcoming update, we will share the information with you. So there you go. Maria and Emilian are inviting you to get in contact with them. Let them know your thoughts. So if you have concerns, please hit them up and let them know what those concerns are. When do we get to know what the new IP is? It's hard to say, but as soon as everything settles down, we're going to be looking very closely in that direction since we already have the information based on a recent in-game survey where you shared with us the IPs you would love to see. So, this is important because it means that they are actually going through the user base and seeing what the users want to have introduced into the game. I think that is excellent. Now, they did hint before when it was the old team that the next IP release is going to be water themed. So everybody's talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or SpongeBob, what have you, I would venture to guess that that was probably far enough along that the first thing the new team is going to do is pick up where that left off and finish up releasing that out, because it's probably halfway, if not 3/4 the way ready to go. So I would still expect to see that first, but in the future, listening to the IPs that we have asked for, that's excellent. We can't help but notice that we have excellent taste, and we're looking forward to bringing some dreams to reality. Very sweet. Will you add any new campaigns anytime soon? As for now, they're focusing on events. All right? Honestly, it's fine. They do need to add more campaigns, but there's other things that are more important, and I'm glad that they are focusing on the things that I agree with them are more important, like events. Principal goals in the short term for the new team: to make the transition process as smooth, avoid big issues, and learn the project. Make sure that everybody is enjoying the game. Pretty generic, but what's important here to note is that their first goal in the short term is to make sure that they learn the project so they can proceed without creating a whole host of bugs that have to be fixed later. This means it's going to take a little bit longer than if they just rushed into it, but overall, this is going to be a very good change for the health of the game. We definitely want to make sure that they understand it. Are you going to add more levels to free training? Free training is one of the least popular challenges in the game. Yeah, because it doesn't do anything for you and it's way too easy, so it's useless. We want to define the future of this challenge along with the community. So great, they're going to be changing that. I don't know that it really matters though. And will you keep on sharing a time quest calendar? Yes, they don't plan to change the frequency or the type of announcements. If something good and important is coming, we'll find out about it on Facebook and Discord. So the timed quest calendar, what it sounds like to me is that this time, basically what they said was no. So are they going to keep on sharing a time quest calendar? It sounds like actually no, they're not going to share a timed quest calendar. They're just going to keep on with the frequency of the timed quests. That's actually how I read this statement. It's not literally what it says, but it's what I would expect. I would expect there to stop being a time quest calendar, except for right now, but the time quests will continue to feature in the game somewhat at random like they do already. Will you add guild chat or messaging? No. And everybody needs to stop asking this question because the old team answered it several times. Now the new team has answered it in the exact same way. They are not going to add guild chat into the game. This is an issue for the children who play this game because in-game chats are usually quite toxic and filled with extreme amounts of profanity and inappropriate behavior. Even if you happen to be in a guild that might chat in a very, very clean way, you are in the minority, statistics have shown. So they want to keep the game child-friendly. They want to be able to sell it out to families and kids. They are not going to allow people to talk in the game all free and willy-nilly for fear of what that will expose the children to, because it means they have to change the rating of the game so that they can no longer advertise it as a child-friendly game, and they're not going to give that up. There will not be chat in the game. You'll have to use Discord or whatever else that you want to, and honestly, Discord is better for chat and organization anyway, so don't worry about it. Calm down. And let's encourage all of our friends to stop asking this question. They're not putting chat in the game. A new player is so jealous. Wish I still had more than 20 minutes of gameplay, Mike says. Yeah, it would be nice. What's up, Theo? How you doing? Glad that are leaving free training alone. It offers no rewards. Yes, Mike. I mean, honestly, what they should do with free training, in my estimation, is create a mode whereby you can just create a defensive team. Like, you can literally pick and choose. I want this character at this many stars on this gear level, and put together a team that you can try to fight against just for free ad nauseum as much as you want to. It doesn't give you any rewards, but then you can actually use that to practice and build teams to fight against some of the other teams in the meta. That's honestly, that's what I think they should do with free training. I think that it would be the best way to do it. And if they could do it, then the content creators could kick out a lot more content, because it means we could do things like, hey, all right, I'm going to put together this video against this specific team, and I can just go into free training, put that team together, grab my characters, and go in there and make those videos and show you guys some advice, or show you like the Ice Ninja team that I've been working on for so long, where it works really well and where it fails to work really well. It seems like an easy thing to implement. Oh, sorry. Coding wise, it might be a bit complex, but it seems like a pretty straightforward idea as to how free training should work. So that's my thoughts on that one. I find it funny that people have to ask, Beat Up says. I'm not sure what it is that you're worrying about asking there. Pastel, what is free training? Honestly, Pastel, you can ignore free training. What is free training? It allows you to take in your groups to fight for free against other teams just for practice, but the teams that you fight against are static and unchanging and usually very weak and poorly put together. So honestly, free training, just completely ignore free training. Sawa, level 39, and Chicken is the best minifigure. Yeah, Chicken is very easy to level up and very easy to gear up. However, Chicken is not going to serve you for very long. Focus on the pirates at the beginning. Yeah, Beat Up was saying that about guild chat. Yes, they're not going to have chat in the game. They're not going to have chat in the game. Back to the chat suggestion, Foreigner says.